Our primary scripture for today comes from 1 Samuel chapter 17, starting at verse 32 and following. "Master," said David, "don't give up hope. I'm ready to go and fight this Philistine." Saul answered David, "You can't go and fight this Philistine. You're too young and inexperienced, and he's been at this fighting business since before you were born." David said, "I've been a shepherd, tending sheep for my father. Whenever a lion or a bear came and took a lamb from the flock, I'd go after it, knock it down, and rescue the lamb. If it turned on me, I'd grab it by the throat, wring its neck, and kill it. Lion or bear, it made no difference. I killed it. And I'll do the same to this Philistine pig who is taunting the troops of God alive. God, who delivered me from the teeth of the lion and the claws of the bear, will deliver me from this Philistine." Saul said, "Go, and God help you." Then Saul outfitted David as a soldier in armor. He put on his bronze helmet on his head, belted his sword on him over the armor. David tried to walk, but he could hardly budge. David told Saul, "I can't even move with all this stuff on me. I'm not used to this." And he took it off. Then David took his shepherd's staff, selected 5 smooth stones from the brook, and put them in the pocket of his shepherd's pack, and with his sling in his hand, approached Goliath. As the Philistine paced back and forth, his shield bearer in front of him, he noticed David. He took one look down on him and sneered. A mere boy, apple-cheeked and peach-fuzzed. The Philistine ridiculed David. "Am I a dog that you come after me with a stick?" And he cursed him by his gods. "Come on," said the Philistine. "I'll make roadkill out of you for the buzzards. I'll turn you into a tasty morsel for the field mice." David answered, "You come at me with a sword and spear and battle axe. I come at you in the name of God of the angel armies, the God of Israel's troop, whom you curse and mock. This very day God is handing you over to me. I'm about to kill you, cut off your head, and serve up your body and the bodies of your Philistine buddies to the crows and coyotes. The whole earth will know that there's an extraordinary God in Israel, and everyone gathered here will learn that God doesn't save by means of sword or spear. The battle belongs to God. He's handing you to us on a platter." That roused the Philistine, and he started toward David. David took off from the front line, running toward the Philistine. David reached into his pocket for a stone, slung it, and hit the Philistine hard in the forehead, embedding the stone deeply. The Philistine crashed face down in the dirt. Here ends the reading. Thanks be to God. Do the young folks want to come up this morning? No, not today. Oh, here we go. All right, come on. I forgot that they were behind me. So how many of you have heard the story of David and Goliath before? Yeah? The story that I just read. Well, Goliath sounds like a big, scary person, doesn't it? Sounds like a what? A bully? A giant bully, yeah. He's making fun of everybody, and he's not saying it very nicely. Oh, boy, you're catching on quick. If you're picking on somebody meanly, then you can't say it nicely. You guys don't ever pick on anybody, do you? You guys are never mean to anyone, right? You guys have never said anything to make somebody feel bad about themselves? Mm-hmm. We're not doing that in church. Okay? We all can be tempted to be mean to somebody, either because we're bigger than them, or because we think we're right and they're wrong, or because we don't want anybody to tell us that we're wrong, and we will fight hard to try and make sure that everyone believes us instead of the truth. It happens a lot. And we can all be guilty of doing that. Now, if God is the one directing us to tell the truth, eventually the truth will come out. And when the truth comes out and we have been the one who has decided to not be truthful or honest or willing to hear the truth, then we will eventually have to face the consequences. Hopefully it's not the same kind of consequence that Goliath had to face, or the rest of the Philistines. But when we are the ones that are being the bully, when we are the ones that are hurting others, that hurt will eventually come back to us. Because if we hurt our brother or our sister or our neighbor, we are also hurting ourselves. And that's a truth that we sometimes forget even as adults. And I say that with honesty because all we have to do is look at the world today. The adults, some of them are nodding their heads already, to realize that when we hurt others, we hurt ourselves. So what can we do different? We can try to not be mean to others, although David's speech didn't sound very nice either. We can follow God. We can be directed by God. We can do what God tells us to do as we are directed toward the truth. And we can use God's plan for making sure the truth comes out instead of our own. Goliath wanted to enforce his truth, and he was using what? A shield, a spear, a sword, battle axe. What did David use? A stone, a slingshot, and who remembers the other thing that David carried with him? Anybody? His shepherd's staff. And all of those are the tools of a shepherd to protect. Think about that. Yeah, I know. It's amazing that he did that to the big giant. But he used tools of defense rather than tools of war. Sometimes what we need to remember is it isn't the things that will hurt people that we have to use. It's the things that we can use to defend. Sometimes that's words. Sometimes that's placards and signs. Sometimes that's a shot or a mask. I see. So what, are you still wearing your Band-Aid from your flu shot? Yes. And sometimes it's keeping some distance. Other times it's bringing food or praying. We need to listen to God to know how best we can help people feel protected, loved, encouraged, strengthened in their faith. And we can't do it by using words and tools that will hurt them, but to defend. Okay? So I want us to try and be more of a defender than a attacker. Okay? Let's pray. God, you have given us the tools to give a strong defense. And sometimes the tools of defense can hurt. But God, direct us to use the right tool at the right time. Not so much to hurt, but to protect as many as possible, so that they may know the truth of being made in your image, of being loved by you, and that you have a desire for a relationship. Amen. All right, I'll see you guys later.